Oh, what's good, y'all? Hello, welcome back to Dreamhouse TV. I'm your host, Dream, where dreams do come true. You guys, I'm on a Zoom meeting with someone that she has a lot going for herself. Okay, from being a published author published author to also being a self empowerment coach. And not only that, but she has a podcast. You guys, she has a lot going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow her to introduce herself and please go ahead and let the people know who you are.
Hi, my name is Tammy Holmes. I'm a native of Nashville, Tennessee. And as Dream said, I am a published author, a podcaster, a um, certified self empowerment coach, a wife, a mother, a hairstylist, like just all across the board. I got it.
Look, right. So I mean, as for starting off, because I mean, like you said, with the how long have you been doing with the hair thing?
Since I was 11, I've been behind the chair since I was 11 years old. The lowest will I'll be 45 on December 23rd, so in a couple more days. But yeah, it's been full force since then. So I knew that there was a passion for me, but it wasn't until within the last year that I realized that wasn't my purpose. God just placed me there to get me to where He needed me to be. But yeah, since I was 11, that's how long I've been behind the chair.
Oh wow. So she, she's look, pretty much anything that they pretty much need, they can, you can do it for them, correct?
Well, yes, I do a lot of natural. I don't do sew-ins. I don't do braids. I don't do closures, lace fronts, all that. I'm on the natural look. They'll go and get all that done, and then after they toe up for a little bit of them edges, and they'll come back. So I can grow it back for them.
Look, right. So hey, she can get you right there. If you out here in Houston and the way the heat is out here, that human, oh my God, your hair gonna puff up like as soon as you hit outside. So I mean, I'm pretty sure if it's out there like that too, they keep
Yeah,
coming back.
absolutely.
They keep coming back. Right.
Yeah,
Right. So I mean, where you officially from? Let's go ahead and put them on the map.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Wow. I mean, have you been there all your life?
Yeah, all my life.
All your life? Oh, okay. So I mean, how is it out there? Like, how is it
It's
growing up out there?
cool. Nashville has grown. We are the it city, pretty much. They call us a small Las Vegas, but like we're not as big as Las Vegas, but we're growing daily. So it has been on the up for the last 2, 3 years, maybe, and it's cool now. I'm not one to always be on the scene, so I don't always enjoy all the festivities that's going on around town. But for the most part, it's pretty much something to do every day.
Right. I mean, some places when we grow up, we already know what's going on, so it's
Right.
just like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I mean, what are some of the places that you traveled to that, like the experience there was awesome?
Pretty much California, New York, Jersey, pretty much those places.
Oh, right. So, okay. So, I mean, like, as for your book, let's get down to it. You say you're a published author. What motivated you to want to write a book?
Well, that's always been kind of like a dream of mine, but really never thought that it would come true. Not that I didn't necessarily have the potential, but it was really more or less not just putting a forth an effort, into doing it. Not really knowing where to start or how to start. But it's just pretty much, just really not applying myself, not necessarily wanting to ask other people, or really not thinking that people who you thought had the connection will really take the time out to tell you. Well, pandemic came about, and of course, I'm a hairstylist, and when they shut down the city, it wasn't nothing to do. So one day I just sat down and started writing. In the midst of me writing, prior to me starting writing, I have a client that I asked, like, anybody that does publishing and editing. And she was like, my girlfriend, Latoya Wilson. So, of course, that's how we got our connection as well. I reached out to Latoya, and from that point, it was on and not popping from that.
Right. Shout out to Miss Latoya. I appreciate it, man. You showed up and
Yes.
showed out. She showed up and showed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
Absolutely.
that's awesome. Like, how did y'all actually meet?
We met through one of my clients, one of my close clients, Rochelle Wright. Rochelle and Latoya been best friends since childhood, growing up in Mississippi. So that's how Latoya and I met, was through a client of mine, which is one of her best friends.
Right, right. And then from there, just the networking and
Yeah,
building up, and it's all
absolutely.
it's
Because
right,
sometimes, it be your own. A lot of times we have the plug, but we don't want to share the plug, And so, in the midst of not wanting to necessarily share the plug, sometimes it takes people from the outskirts just with one network.
Mhm.
And I've definitely found Latoya to be a table builder, and I've come into a lot of great connections and networking with her. I really look, not that I expect. I know that things will go big for me in the next. It's just all about the wait and the timing and patient and being patient and perseverance. Through the whole waiting period. But definitely Latoya is building tables, and I look to connect those tables with her. Not only just see the seat there for myself, but for many others as well.
right, right, man. And look, and that is wonderful because it's like you're learning and you're building, but not only that, but you also giving back to help the ones that's coming along the way as well too. So I mean that is awesome, and that's an awesome feeling for them to have someone to actually come to, and y'all can sit down, y'all can talk, y'all can vibe, and it's like you're building outside family, because sometimes that the one that not actually in your family become your family, and those be the ones that have your back. So it's just like it's weird, you guys. It's weird. I don't know. This is just the world. It's just the world. But I
It
mean,
is, and that's why, and that goes back to me saying that a lot of times, we have the plug. Our own people have a plug, but just because it's you or just because it's me, we don't necessarily want to share. But when I became a certified life coach, and I remember posting my post about it, I'm like, I am the socket. I will be the socket. Who needs the extension cord? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I know that the heat is going to come behind it. So I'm the plug for me is no longer a secret. You know, it's
right,
just all, and I'm not even worried about who's going to support and who's not going to support. That's within my circle. It's all about because I know the support will be such a demand from other areas. So, hey, that like you said, that's the way of life, but you can't take it personal.
right.
You cannot take it personal at all.
Yeah, especially when it comes down to your business or something that you have a passion for, and it's the right way. Not many people are going to agree with it. I mean, some people see who you really are before you see yourself. So you just in
Absolutely.
the process of building up, into and stepping into that person who you are meant to be. And some people are afraid of that. Don't never be afraid to be different. If you don't fit in, they'll let you know because it's something better. Like yeah, this is not on the same level as you. So now it takes
Hmm.
time to actually, sometimes you have to center yourself and go about it another way. And go about it another way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
what are some of I want this moment to be like your testimony setting. So tell us about something that made you better yourself.
Well, coming up, first starting with my book. My book is titled When the Storms Were Raging, I Never Gave Up. And it is a platform of inspiration of this young girl that grew up that didn't have much personality,
Mhm.
short hair, and kind of I was looking like a little boy, but I was verbally abused. Now, my mother, I can't tell you what it feels like to be sexual abused or to be hungry, to be put outside in there because my mother took care of my siblings and my grandmother. But verbally, I was torn down, mentally and emotionally, I was, and it wasn't so much of my mom saying who you was not going to become. It was just really more or less of a name caller. But at the age of 15, I vowed that if I ever had kids, that I would never treat my kids the way my mother treated me, right? Now, although I'm saying this, I'm not throwing no shade on my mom by none whatsoever, because guess what? She create well along with God, but she created me into the woman that I am today. Just I'm saying to be spiritual, to stand solid on the word of God, and to understand the adversity of life will come, but you're gonna be able to get over it. So, in the midst of me sitting down and start writing the book, I just started telling my story, but it was really pretty much trying to protect other people at the same time. Now, I've never portrayed it to be this perfect, person. But like my life has always kind of been a struggle, but not necessarily in a bad way. Like
Mhm.
things have just not always come easy for me. Whatever it is that I've done, I've had to work for it. Whatever. And my husband has accomplished, we've had to work for it. And there have been plenty of times we done had people to help us along the way. But even with my kids, it's pretty much that we teach them. My husband and I have taught them that nothing will be given. You just got to go out and get it. So one thing that I was taught coming up, if I had to go to work every day just to do one client to feed my family, I knew what it was to have a hustle behind you. But also at the same time, it was like coming up, I still just had this insecurity behind this face, this insecurity behind my mind and my heart, but also just still believing in myself. But although I had this complex about what it was that mom would say and these names, when I vowed to never talk to my kids like that, I knew that that was the way of breaking a generational curse. So it was then that as time life went on and just experiencing other things in life, I understood that everyone can, like, my kids can't break the curse for me. I had to break the curse. Their kids will not be able to break the curse from them. They will have to break the curse. So it's just a way. And I always wanted to be on a platform, right? Not
Mhm.
a platform for a shape, form of fashion, but just a platform of inspiration, but never thinking years to come that it will come out to me having a podcast, or come out to me becoming a published author, or come out to me becoming a certified life coach. Not that I didn't think that I was qualified, but sometimes, people will just allow doubt to sit in. We'll allow doubt to sit in. But hey, I knew, although at times I've had allowed doubt to come sit in, I also knew what potential that I had, and I just had to apply forth an effort, to it. And so, like I said, life hasn't always been easy, and life isn't always fair, but life is still great. So I stand on that, of knowing that whatever it is, I'm gonna go after it. I don't care how long it's gonna take, and I'm not. You said something earlier a little while ago about not being like the in crowd person. I'm not that person. I'm not the person that feel like I got to be on the scene to be relevant, because I know what self validation is. So, it's
Mhm.
just all about navigating life and believing in yourself, regardless of what the people around you may say. And again, when a lot of times things are not given to you, it's going to take you a little longer to get there than it is someone else that things have been on a silver platter for them. But the reality of it is that you never give up. And so that's what my focus is that I never give up. I don't care what the situation look like. I don't care what's in front of me. And that's something that my husband and I have always taught our kids, that you don't give up regardless of what. You fight through every adversity, and things will work itself out. And if it's not the will of God, then hey, we're in acceptance of that too. We'll just keep pushing forward.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, everything that you pretty much run into is because he allowed it to happen. So I
Absolutely.
mean, it's all part of the process. It's all part of your journey. Yeah, it's you're gonna feel like you can't take it, but I mean, it just hang on just a little bit longer. Hang on just a little bit longer.
Absolutely.
And like
Just a
a
little
day
bit
or two,
longer.
you may not know something real big can shake loose, and it's like you all happy and you joyful all over again, to where it's so happy to where you have no choice but to bring the tears. Because I mean, like
Hmm.
now, like you understood, you was like, oh, this is why it didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, because something was bigger was already planned for me. So it just sometimes your
Hmm.
life fall apart in order for it to come back together, and in order for it to be whole. And that's where you feel like you have to give in everything. So
Absolutely. But part of falling apart and being whole all starts within your mindset. It all starts with you. And if your mindset is not right, then things will fall apart and stay apart. But then if you really believe in yourself, and you really believe that this too can happen, although it may not happen the way that you want it to happen, it all can become whole at some point in time. So it's just all about who you really believe that you are. Not what the people around you believe, not who mom or dad or grandma believe, not who your kids believe or your spouse believe. It's all about who you really believe that you are. And when you tap into your inner self, and then you pull out all that potential, then hey, It's either you're gonna allow it to make you or break you. It's one other way.
Exactly. So you realize sometimes it felt like you were almost completely broke, but no, it was just bit
Ooh,
you a little bit. It
on
just
that
bit
cliff.
right. It just bit you a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. It's just that moment to where that wind blows and it stands you back up the way that you need to be. So like I said, you may bend, but you won't break. You just got to keep going forward. Got to keep pushing. Got
Mm-hmm.
to, like walk into your purpose. Don't be scared. Some
Absolutely.
friends you're gonna drop, some families you're gonna drop. The things that you used to do, you're not gonna want to do it no more because you got to
Mm-hmm.
realize that sometimes the reason why you hang around certain people is because y'all have the same habits. And when some of those habits begin to break apart, so do they. And then you wonder
Abs-
why y'all don't talk the way y'all used to anymore, why y'all don't hang out the way y'all used to anymore. It just like you said, it's all about elevating.
Absolutely. And my husband and I had a conversation, and one of his friends, we were just talking about self pity. And I made a post last week. Self pity is dangerous because the reality of it is that when you feeling sorry for yourself, like you can't help but to be in a rut or help to be stuck. And then a lot of times, like you said, a lot of times you hang around the same people who have the same mindset. And when people have self pity, they want the people around them to have self pity for them too. But it's not about really what you want to hear. It's about what you need to hear. And at the end of the day, is if you feeling sorry for yourself and you don't have a get up and go for yourself, I can want it for you all day long. You can want it for me, but if I don't have it for myself and I'm sitting around feeling sorry for myself, like it's gonna turn into a pile of and you're gonna find yourself in some mess you can't get out of. And
Right.
so but then if you take control mentally and emotionally, you can fight and overcome everything else. It's just all about, again, your mindset. But all at the same time is that if you now come back and focus on self, realign yourself, be okay with removing yourself from a situation or from people that you are comfortable with. And see, that's what a lot of times for us, we don't want to get out of unfamiliar situation. When we in the same familiar situation, it now becomes a crutch for us. Like you said, a habit. And I tell my kids all the time, or either other people, you cannot do the same thing and expect different results. It just don't happen. It's the same way you can't continue to, if you make a change for the good and you cannot continue to deal with the same people that when you was in a hole that you deal with them people. It's not to never think that you better or above anybody else. It's just that it just don't happen like that. So in order for you to level up, you got to now surround yourself with other different people, you know, people that's above you so that you can have some expectations to get there. You can't, and nobody is above or beneath, but I'm just saying if they a little farther than you in life, then it's okay. Because if it's 10 of us at the table, all 10 of us should not be thinking, our mindset shouldn't still be the same. I should learn something from the other nine. And then likewise. Now, although I may be a little beneath them, maybe financially, but I'm gonna feel like I'm just as important as they are. You know what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
just been behind their business 15, 20 years, and I've
Right.
probably just been behind mine 6 or 7 months. But hey,
Mhm.
I'm just as important as you are. So, but again, I am surrounding myself with people with more knowledge and more wisdom than
Mhm.
I am staying around the same people who still is not talking about doing nothing. All they focus on is buying a Gucci bag or you know, the Birkin bag or something. I don't either one of them, but I'm just saying in general, you know, that's what they mindset is, and it's nothing wrong with them for the people who do own it.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you gotta always know that it's okay to remove yourself from certain situations and certain people because everybody can't go with everybody.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And that's where it comes in. And when you say that you're ready for that next level, expect for something to shift. You can't expect for you to say, "Oh, I'm ready for the next level," and everything will stay the same way. No, when you say you're ready for the
Mm-hmm.
next level, that means that you're ready for whatever it is that you have to let go. Whatever it is that you have to take on, because as you elevate, more and more is going to come, and more is also going to
Mm-hmm.
drop off. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's when you really finding your balance. Who really has your back? Who doesn't have your back? Who say they're your friend but really not your friend. Who's going to support you and who's not going to support you. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to realize that most of your support are going to come from people that you don't even know, that you never knew,
Absolutely.
But I mean, take it on. Why? Because come down to business. I mean, hey, keep your feelings. You know what I'm saying? No, don't put your heart on your sleeve. Just make sure that business
Mm-hmm.
is whatever your price is. Because guess what? If they want to go to these restaurants and pay $150 for two people to eat, guess what? That's what they're gonna do. So I mean,
Absolutely.
what your price is, and you know that you're worth it, put it out there. If they want it, they'll
Absolutely.
never hesitate. Never hesitate. Because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes down to their business as well, too, you guys, they're gonna look for it. Okay,
Absolutely.
they're gonna
And then
look
one
for
of the things too about that I've learned so far, even in life coaching, is that we as people, we don't necessarily want to invest in ourselves. We will invest in other things, shoes, hair, lashes, And again, it's not against any of that, but when it comes down to investing into ourselves, as African Americans, a lot of times we don't do that because we feel like that I don't want nobody in my business, or really it ain't necessarily um, want people in their business. Sometimes it's just attached to who you are. You know what I'm
it.
saying? And it's okay. I just told I had a coaching session tonight before the interview. I just told her, you don't take it personal because you got to take self out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take self out of it, it don't have nothing to do with you. So, like you said, you can't wear it on your sleeves, and that's one of my mottos is like get up and dust that dirt off your shoulders. It's okay, it's okay.
Right. Right. 'Cause I
Hmm.
mean, hey, if they don't agree with it, cool. They can go and find somebody else. It just they thought that they come to you and be like, oh, I'll give you a discount or such and such, and that type of stuff like that. Like it's cool because I look at it like this: if they return customers and returning, of course I'm gonna give back. I appreciate you for your service,
Absolutely.
the stuff. But if it's one of those, and it's maybe it's just me, but if I offered to do the job for you before and you didn't want it, but you come back, it's gonna be a little bit more. It's gonna be a little bit more because I mean I offered to give it to you for free at that, and that's when I was just starting off. So now that I got bigger, now you want to come back, So I mean, like,
Right.
would that be selfish of me?
No, I don't think it's selfish because at this point right here, now that you have, and you were starting out, but you have established accept yourself, nothing is supposed to stay the same. So no, I don't think that that's selfish. It's selfish for anybody to want to be asking for a discount for say, because at the end of the day, we all got to eat. Now you might not be busting their head, but the next person will. But just because it's you, they ain't gonna necessarily want to break bread with you. But then to go break bread with somebody else is charging 80% more than what you have. But then guess what? At the end of the day, that's nothing personal either. So it is what it is at that point.
Yeah. Because I mean, when I tried to give it, I tried.
Right.
You didn't even have to pay anything for it. I just wanted you to believe in my work. Just believe in my work,
Absolutely.
and you could.
Absolutely.
So it's just like okay, at this moment, yeah. So I mean, as for you starting off with being a self empowerment coach, like how did that journey start off for you?
Man, let me tell you. So uh, it actually started before the podcast. So I started the podcast in May of 2021. And I went through from May to December and I took a break just for the holidays, right? And so I had a girlfriend who was talking, and some life situations was going on. And a lot of times being behind a chair, that's pretty much what you're doing anyway. A barber, a stylist, your barber, your stylist, your daycare provider. Those are three of the main people that people pretty much can find in consistently. And they might not necessarily really realize, but the barber and stylist, like we hear all kind of stuff. And so the podcast came about because it's kind of like, okay, everyone has a story, but in the midst of everybody having a story, it's really one of those situations. Sometimes people just afraid to share, or they think that I'm the only one going through this, nobody else going through, or they worrying about what other people's gonna think. So I use the Real Talk with T.Holmes as a platform, really just to show everybody that everyone has a story. Like it's not just you, and it's okay. But when you are comfortable in your own skin, then how you can overcome it, right? So we went through 34, 35 um, episodes. And it was like when I took a break, I didn't have the energy to pick it back up. But I knew that the inspiration part was like that's always been on me, right? I can be empty, don't have nothing within myself, but God will use me to deposit into others all while I'm empty. So I knew it wasn't me. I knew that it was God. So going back to starting the podcast, it was like that behind the chair was my purpose, was my passion, but it wasn't my purpose. But
Mhm.
God had to line me up in those directions. So all he did was place me behind that chair for all them years, and in the midst of placing me behind that chair, starting the podcast, and it just got me more comfortable with just talking and just really expressing the true feelings, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes you'll still hold things back based on who you're talking to and what y'all talking about. And I was kind of being like a respectful but blunt person.
Mhm.
But it was like, you know what, this life coaching thing, this what I really need to be doing. I wanted to then kind of like was at a point like looking at different classes, $2,000, $3,000. Like, man, I don't want to spend that type of money. Well, really, now I'm going back to you ain't trying to invest in your own self. And
Right.
so from there, and I even this was after my book was published. I reached out to Latoya and was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go for it. She was like, go for it. Me not knowing that she already offering it, offering classes to do mentoring and stuff like that. So it was 3, 4 months later, I got an email. She was running a special. It was my time just to jump on it. And them 6 months of intense coursing, it was like, man, so much trial and tribulation was going on in my life at that time that, like, plenty of times I just wanted to just pull back. Like, I don't have time for this right now. But it was just set them on. When you walk in your purpose, like you said, when you leveling up things, everything's not gonna be easy for you. It's not gonna be smooth. It's
Mhm.
gonna be trial and tribulation. So hey, I took my course October the 4th. It was it, but the life coaching really just kind of like self empowerment. See, everything starts within self, but
Mhm.
because I've had to build myself throughout the years, of course, God, of course, first, but and then just still having the help of other people just empower me. And it's so many of us, not just black women, but white women, other races who really do not believe in us. And in order for us to have these big dreams, like the dream house, it starts within our mindset. It starts within you. And if you can't focus on you, you cannot believe in yourself, you don't have nothing. Because once you lose hope, hope will take you a long way. So
Mhm.
I just stepped out there and I'm like, you know what? It's either for me or it's not. I started praying about it. And it was like, even after praying, like, God, like, just show me my purpose. Show me my purpose. And one night it was like ding dong. It was right there in my face, all alone.
Mhm.
And so, like I said, this life coaching thing, it's really been great for me. And I'm not just starting out, but all at the same time, really kind of been doing it all my life,
Mhm.
but just certified now. So, it's gonna take some time to build, just like any other dream. I mean, any other dream or any other business. And hey, I'm here for the ride. It's been great so far. Just even talking with people, whether they book sessions or not. Just even going through consultations, but it'll take time, and I will get there.
And boom, just by saying that, you already manifested it. So just make sure
Absolutely,
you're ready for it. Make sure you be ready for it. Because I mean, I believe it.
absolutely.
But yeah, look, the power is within, it was within the tongue.
In the
So I
tongue,
believe.
absolutely. I tell my kids that all the time. Your tongue, you speak life or death, and I manifest anything at any given moment. And but also too, Lord, whatever your will is, I am in acceptance of it. So I pray for strength, and part of my prayer later has been, Lord, give me the wisdom and knowledge to know what to do with the blessing. And we ain't just talking about blessings of finances, but just the connection, the networks. If I can handle, give me the wisdom and knowledge to pass it on to the next person. And so forth, and help building them. But again, I just told someone the other day, it's like, how's it going? I mean, it's coming. It's in the beginning, and I'm here for the ride. So hey, it will be there. But I do know without a shadow of doubt that this will blow up. It will blow up, and it'll become a major empowerment that's going. And my focus is just to touch so many. It's not
Mhm.
even about the money, it's just to touch so many.
Right, right. Because I mean, hey, if you touch one, and you never know that one could touch another one. So it's
Mm-hmm.
all about it's like because some people they come in and they expect to touch like hundreds, thousands, millions of people at one time, and that is good because some can do that. But you got to realize that sometimes in that crowd you can't reach everyone.
Absolutely.
So when it come down to that, that's when stubbornness and stuff start to kick in, pride and stuff start to kick in. But they have at least about one or two in the crowd that was like, okay, she was speaking some true stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
I want to better myself. So I mean, like even if it's just that one or two, three, you
But
know.
guess what? That when that one or two unfold, and then you don't have to tell people you change. It shows up.
Mm-hmm.
It shows up in the way you walk, in the way you talk, the thing. And again, like I said a little while ago, it all starts in our mindset. So the reality of life is just all about you wanting it. You want it. And one of the mottos that I use for my book is that the storm was never meant to destroy you. So just because this one situation happened and you felt like you was at the end of the rope, it wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to happen to pull either one or two things, either for pull you closer to God, God pulling you closer to Him, or for Him to get your attention to detour you from something else that was about to be destruction. It's either you're gonna learn a lesson from it or you're not. You're either gonna continue. It's like little kids when our parents tell us don't touch the iron, and then when we keep on tapping it. But when you touch, you might touch it the first time, and really you don't learn the lesson. But do you take heed to it? You know. But a lot of times, we feel sorry for ourselves, and in the midst of feeling sorry for ourselves, we just can't necessarily pick ourselves up out of that rut. And all it takes sometimes is just one person to be real with you, to
Mm-hmm.
keep it in. And I tell people all the time, you got to keep it real with yourself before you can keep it real with anybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
True. That is true. So I mean, starting off from all of it together, as for like you said, you're a mother now. You have your podcast, you have books. Being a self-empowerment coach. Now that you see that you have accomplished and still accomplishing, like how do that make you feel? Like when you reflect back on that all.
Well, it's never again about a show, right? But what I feel like I told my coach mentor, which was Latoya Wilson, I said this weekend, it feels good to be walking in your purpose. Because guess what? You can have $2-3 million in your bank account behind whatever your business is, but then you're not walking in your purpose, you're not feeling successful. I don't want to have all these things up under my belt and it not be successful with it. And being successful is not always about money. Being
Right.
successful is about having peace, having love, having joy in your heart, right? So for me, walking in my purpose, I feel like, okay, this is it. When I did my first coaching session, I'm like, you've been BSing for a long time. You should have been and did this, but it was the timing, I guess, it was the timing. But hey, I feel good about it that I'm here now, because it's never too late. I feel good that I'm here and I just look to expand and help other people along the way. So again, it's just all about, what you see in yourself, what you believe, the potential that you can pull out. And and even if you do have doubt, it's okay. Just
Right.
don't allow the doubt to sit there. Pick yourself up and keep going. Even if you fail, and see that'd be a lot of things. And that was part of my doubt too in the beginning. Like, am I gonna fail at this? I can't worry about it if that's what's gonna happen. Because one thing about it, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen regardless. So but I feel great that I am on the road of success. And when I say the road of success, again, it's not about the money part. It's just about being able to give back because guess what? Even though when I was young and I was torn verbally, some of the people poured into me, you know,
Mhm.
and believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. So it's just come, like you said, it's just a part of giving back. And when you can give back to help people build up themselves, there right there is more than a notion within itself.
Mhm. Yes, yeah, and I totally agree on that. Like you said, you can give back because it feels good. They actually came and they confided in you. Not only that, but they know for sure that you was going to listen. because some people they talk and a lot of people cut them off. Like, like, no, don't cut them off. Allow them to say what it is that they have to say, and just and just listen, because sometimes that's all that they need. Now, ask you a question or so, but being honest with them. But I'm saying, knowing how to say it can go a long way for them, because somebody else probably saying the same thing, but coming at them raw. Like, you da 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 da. But no, now that you got somebody else that actually sat down and listened to you, and heard it from, like, can kind of feel where you're coming from a little bit, but at the same time said that, well, do you think you probably overreacted just a little bit? Like that kind of thing. So I guess it's like the balance. How do you find the balance, like, between all of it?
Well, it's transparency. Now, see, for me, it's life experiences. Because guess what, son? I've been there with just needing somebody to listen to me, right? So, and it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. So now that's one thing I've learned, that every time I've had a session, I prayed, went in prayer and asked God for the right words to say, because that's what I was worried about, is how do I know I'm saying the right thing, And sometimes I've always been a person who was kind of misunderstood, and so that's definitely not the realm that I wanted to be in when you talking to somebody to convince them of who they are and the way that they carry as, being them, right? And so, but when you be transparent with people, see, they feel like they have a connection. But if you be like, I can't relate. I can't relate to not having no money to pay my bills. I can't relate to being late. I can't relate, to a man walking out on me. I can't relate. When you like that, then people pull back in the shell like, oh, well, ain't no need of me opening up to this person,
Right.
because they really don't know what it's like, right? But when you be transparent, being transparent, like sometimes you have to share your truth, you have to, and when you share your truth and you acknowledge some things, you don't go off into your actual business, but you can kind of finish the sentence for them. So when you kind of finish the sentence for them, they make them think twice, like, okay, he or she they may really do understand what it is, because
Right.
I tell people all the time, now as of tonight, I mean, I don't have on makeup, no heels and all of that, right? But I tell people all the time, don't let these makeup and heels and this hair fool you, because I can give you some stories. Look, I can tell you some stories. You be ready to jump off the bridge, But hey, through it all, it's just about being transparent and just keeping it real with people. And again, watching what you say. Again, the tone makes a major difference with people, and then you gotta make people feel in the realm of feeling comfortable with you and them. Because one of the things that you learn in coaching is showing up for people, right? And in the midst of showing up for them, sometimes that's all it takes is just to show up, and they
Right.
just feel like that they care. But being on the self empowerment side, it goes so deep, because a lot of times when you tapping into your inner self, it's a lot of things that you're not going to necessarily realize, some feelings and some thoughts that you had that may come to surface, and you may really thinking, no, I ain't really feeling like this. But then when you start tapping into your inner self, you start dealing with some things, and in the midst of you dealing, you just got to know that it's okay for you to own your own feelings and your own thoughts. But transparency, that's the only thing I can tell you, that the transparency for me at Unlock Your Potential LLC is is really big for me, in making my clients feeling comfortable and making them feel like that it's worth them spending their money.
Yeah, yeah. And guys, of course, I put everything in the description box. So I'm gonna have a website there as well too, along with the Instagram. Y'all know how I do it. But I mean, as for maybe them wanting to like just reach out, call you, or text you, is there a certain number that they can?
Yes, they can email me at unlockdesires@gmail.com, and they can reach me at 615-818-2050. If they want to inquire, and website is www.unlockyourpotentialself.com. So after you go to the website and you have some questions prior to booking, you can email those questions, text those questions, and I would not hesitate to get back with a follow up.
Right, right. And y'all already know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have the number at the bottom of the screen too as well, you guys. So I mean, if y'all just need someone, to talk to, and even if you want her to actually be your a coach for you, because motivation is the key, you guys. We all need motivation, and
Absolutely.
we need that one person to what I'm saying, like kind of be right here on our shoulder, but they
Yes,
pushing us to do better. They pushing us to do better. So I mean,
absolutely.
or as
Now,
for
now, coach, and then let me just say this, Coach T. Holmes. I'm not gonna be one that sugarcoat it to you. I mean, we keep it. It's transparency, but I mean, it's not raw, but it's never necessarily what you want to hear. I mean, not necessarily, yeah, what you want to hear is what you need to hear. And a lot of times that's how we as people, we kind of get stuck in that corner because there's so many people pacifying us. And the truth of the matter is that we need the truth. We need the truth. And hey, I'm here for the ride.
So hey, and look how they say you can't handle the truth. You guys, look, she not sugarcoating. You heard it from herself. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, when y'all really, really, really serious about making a change, and you just need someone that's gonna help push you, motivate you, let you know that hey, now that's not right. You trying to do better. Like Miss Tammy, she is the one that's going to push it. Okay, she's going to make sure that you're heading in the right direction. And anything else that you pretty much want to do, guys, because I mean, look at it. She's a great role model. Book. She, self. She has a lot going on. A whole
You
lot
say
going
all of
on.
it. Yeah, it is a lot going on.
Also,
Right, absolutely.
she's in the motherhood as well too. So I mean, like as for the kids that you have now, and when they tune in to watch this video, what advice do you have for
One thing I always tell my kids that my grandmother uh, passed down to me was every day I pray over my kids.
them?
I pray over them. I call them out by name. And my kids I have two 24-year-olds, a 22, and a 14-year-old, right? So it's a different world now with the 14-year-old versus was with the oldest kids growing up. But I just speak prosperity, health, and wealth over them. Now, of course, at this age, the ages that they are, with the exception of 14-year-old, my husband and I, we've always been the parents. We correct you when you're wrong and praise you when you're right. So it's all about the structure and the foundation of growing up. But once they get a certain age, you cannot dictate the choice and decision that they made. But one thing that we have been proud to stand behind is that, hey, it's not that you don't know no better. But one thing that we've always taught our kids is just do right by people. When you do right by people, things will come your way. And the biggest aspect that I've always still tell my kids to this day is that life is about trial and tribulation. You're gonna deal with life adversity. And this is all about knowing who the source is of going to and trusting God, no matter what the situation looks like in front of you, no matter what the world is saying. When you trust God, He can change a situation around in a nick of a dime. So not only am I motivating my own kids, I'm motivating anybody, you and anybody else that's watching this. Like, when we surrender to him and give the situation to him, then you have no choice but to go forth and be great. When you really surrender to him, but it doesn't mean that you will not have adversity in life. And a lot of times you have the younger kids or the younger generation, they don't necessarily know how to deal with things. They don't know how to express their emotions and express themselves. So I try to always encourage my kids daily, send them scriptures, send them motivational quotes, just to keep them uplifted. Because if nothing else, I never wanted my kids to see me break. I never want them to see me break. So I try to, no matter what I'm going through, what I'm facing, I try to keep them encouraged as well. And life be lifing for people. And when life is lifing, we tend to kind of lose focus. But when life is lifing, but hey, it's not the end of the day though. What I'm saying, you pick yourself up, dust that dirt off your shoulder, and keep it going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Look, because you can't stay there. The longer you stay,
Mm-mm.
It's just gonna take. We call that procrastinating, and then like
Absolutely.
some people good at procrastinating, but they still can get the job done. Some of them just stay there,
Absolutely.
But that's the ones that if you know that you're gonna stay there, push forward some kind of way. Surround yourself with some people that's that's gonna be like, hey, what I'm saying, that's gonna check on you. You all right? You okay? Even sometimes you gotta reach out to other people and just text and be like, hey, I could use some company. Hey, let's go out for dinner. Like that kind of. It's just when you keep that frame of mind, it sometimes it hides what you're really supposed to do. So when it comes down to that, you guys, it's just like clear your mind sometimes, and just getting out and talking about it, write it down. That helps you release it as well. Journal stuff. It helps you. It helps all of that. It helps all of that one way or another. Sometimes you got to write it down and rip it up. So it just.
Well, that's part of one of my activities is I call it dealing with the shit. So the first thing is acknowledgement. We must first acknowledge that there is a problem, right? And you cannot heal if you don't talk about it. And if you don't acknowledge it, then that means you're never going to talk about it because you don't really think nothing wrong in the beginning. You know it is, but you don't want to acknowledge that it is. Well, in the midst of acknowledging and then dealing with it, then when you talk about dealing with the shit, then it's pretty much you write it down on a piece of paper. Whatever you write, read out loud to yourself. It's not about who you doing it in front of. You're gonna take it to the faucet, and when you take it to the faucet, hold it up on that faucet, because then once the water hits the paper, the ink is gonna smear. It's no longer there. You ball that shit up and put it in the trash can. Then you deal with your right now moments, what you feeling, what it once did make you feel. Then you're either gonna press forward or you're gonna stay stuck right there. And when you staying stuck right there, that's self-pity. And self-pity again is dangerous. So it's either you want self-pity for you to move forward and to live and control your own life in the realm of what you can control, or do you want to stay stuck and give whatever the situation is or whoever the people are control of your mental state, your emotional state, your mind state? No, that's not what we're doing this day and time, because it's too many resources for us to get out here and help each other for one, and listen to other people. I mean, it's just too many resources. But I'm not knocking, and let me make clarification, I'm not knocking nobody that may be in their realm and just have not found that push just yet, because time will come as long as they want it. And again, it takes some people longer than others. But it's just a matter of trusting God along the way, no matter what the circumstances may look like, or no matter what the situation may seem, because it can all come to pass.
Right. And faith, just a side of a mustard seed. That's all it
Yes.
takes. And you never know. Once you start watering that and adding to it, watch it grow. Watch it grow.
Well, your harvest that you reap is what you put into it anyway. If you barely water the flower, then what that means is the flower gonna die, right? You're
Right.
gonna have to now go water it and then place it in the windowsill or place outside on the porch so that it can get some sunlight. But really, if we do that daily, then it's nurturing and it doesn't flourish, and it can be beneficial to it lights up the room. So now it comes down to the energy. Well, a lot of times people try to match energy. You don't match energy, you protect your own energy.
Right.
So, and that means going back to sometimes removing yourself from a situation or from around people. So, hey, it's just all about what you want. But I would leave the people with this is that always remember that the storm was never meant to destroy you, and you never allow the words of others to dictate who you are or where you're going, because it's never too late.
Right.
Hmm.
Wow. That was powerful. That was powerful. Oh yeah. Look, if y'all just need to read that, I'm gonna make sure I have that in the description box too. I'm gonna try to put it in the video, but I know y'all probably if you don't catch on to it, it'll be in the description box as well too. And it's gonna be a quotation mark. So yeah,
Okay.
that was deep. That was deep. But I really appreciate you taking the time out to sit down and talk with me. It was you helped me out. I'll put it like that. You helped me out. Because I mean, you know, it's like some of the things I've talked to, you know, self empowerment coaches, but they never put it in the same way that you would put it. You know, like as for, you know, you have to know how to. I'm not gonna say balance it out.
Transparency.
Transparency. That's what it was. That's what it was. So yes, I mean, yeah, and you can't match. Don't try to match the energy. Okay, you have to protect.
You protect your own.
You protect your own energy. Yeah. So that was some key words and stuff that pointed out as well too. But I really appreciate it. You guys, y'all already know description box. Make sure y'all check her out. Instagram going to be there. Facebook going to be there. Any other links that she may have, I'm ask her to send that to me as well, just in case. And so that way, in any way possible, you guys can get in touch with her. But I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And you guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, ding, so every time a new video is up, you guys will be the first one to get it. And we are out. Peace.
Peace.